Hey, everybody. Happy New Year. What's up? What's going on?
Oh boy,
Yes.
New Year.
Happy
Happy New
New
Year.
Year. Music industry makeover. Wow, man, we made it. To God be the glory. Man, thank y'all. Thank you, Lord. Yes, for another segment here. Another year. Welcome everybody. Again, hey, I'm your host, DJ Ronnie Ron, D Ray the producer. Simone Henry's in the house. Hey guys, man, how y'all been? Miss y'all. Man.
Glad to be seen. Glad to be seen.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Yes. And you too, Simone, right?
Happy to be here
Yeah.
and happy to be seen. As somebody would
Mhm.
say, this side of the dirt. Yes.
Decided.
On this
Exactly.
side of the dirt, right?
Yes. Hey, well, we missed you all. Hey, spread the word. You know the routine, okay? Hey, let folks know we are on as we give some great information and things like that. And so we just want to thank y'all so much. What's up, Duke White? How you doing? Hey, yes, God bless you. Coming soon, Jesus. God bless you too, you Facebook user. Again, this is the Music Industry Makeover Podcast, and we want to thank y'all so much. We want to thank our advertisers and sponsors out there, like Lackey Sauce Barbecue right here. Man, I don't care what kind of event it is. As long as Blackie Sauce is in the building, the food is going to be right. That's what I'm talking about. Order yours today. Yes, again, want to thank our producers and our sponsors out there. And again, if you are interested in wanting to become an advertiser on what we're doing, feel free to get in contact with me. All right, hey, and go to the website musicindustrymakeover.com. All right, see what all that we have to offer, and we want to help your business or you as an artist. All right, we want to help take you to the next level. Okay, definitely, and also follow me all over. If you have Linktree, all right, hey, you can see everything that I have going on. Okay, definitely go and check us out. We I'm on YouTube. All my links are right there. So go and visit Linktree if you have Linktree as well. Okay. Oh yes, and Simone, you have something that you have coming up or so that you've been doing. Let's talk about that.
Well, next week, starting Tuesday, I am starting my very first group program. It's called Nail Your Next Release, where I will walk you through 6 modules of your to-do list, basically, on what you should be doing to really have a good release. Right. So many artists say, well, after I put it up on CD Baby, then what? What do I do? So this is basically what I've done is I've taken like my 28 steps of my album release roadmap and cut it up into 6 modules. And so we're going to go through those modules, make sure that you are covered where, with your organization, your legal stuff, your branding, your marketing, your selling, all of that stuff, when you are releasing a project or an EP or a single. Okay. So that is starting next week, Tuesday. And so I hope to see you all there.
Awesome. Definitely. Hey, you want to get involved? There is the link right there. Go visit it and sign up. Again, how serious are you about your music ministry or industry, whatever you want to call it or so? Hey, you're in the music business for sure. Hey, Mary, happy New Year. Good evening.
Happy New Year.
Yes. Good to see you again and everyone else. Thank y'all so much. Hey Danny, man, what you have going on, bro?
Man, I have just been crazy busy. I don't have any links or anything to show tonight, but trust me and believe. I got a few things coming up over the next few weeks. Some exciting new music that is going to be released, and a few other things that's cooking. So just be on the lookout. But I'm happy to be here, happy to be of assistance, and happy to talk about the music industry.
That's right. And that's what we're here to do. So you have any questions or comments or so, we are the Music Industry Makeover Podcast up under the umbrella of the Music Industry Networks. And so feel free to ask us any questions or any comments or so of because we like to come from a marketing and promotions perspective. Okay, and so yes, hey, happy New Year to you as well again, Mary. So all right, so I know we have some great some topics that we want to talk about tonight and things. And hey, Jerry, how you doing, sir? Hey, happy New Year to you. All right, thank. Yes, Jerry is an awesome artist. Definitely, it's about your why, and so and why you're doing your music, and what are your goals. But it's more so importantly about your why and what would make you what made you want to get into the music business or industry. Okay, whether it's ministry, so you have to have a why. Uh, I know I was talking with some people about that, and a lot of artists are confused, unfortunately, and some of that is because they're not clear on their why. And then when you're talking to industry professionals like ourselves, or so, you in a way you kind of, I wouldn't say you're wasting our time, because time is more valuable than money. But if you know exactly what you want, then people can better serve you and help take you to the next level. What do you guys think?
Absolutely true. I mean, when you know, I did a 3-day event earlier this month, and we spent an entire day just about talking about our goals and our vision and what we want to see in our ministries.
Hmm.
Um, because once you figure out why you're doing what it is you're doing and where you're going, then it's easier to ask your fans for something, for stuff.
Hmm.
It's
Right.
easier to ask for other people for resources and whatever, because you know what you need, because you know where you're going, right?
Right.
You see that path and you see what you're going to need along that path. If you don't know why you're doing this, then it's harder to really navigate and to really organize yourself and put all the different pieces together.
Right.
You don't know what pieces you need because you don't know where you're going.
Right. Again, where's your roadmap? All right. So, uh,
Yeah,
yeah. Now people can help you, understand where you're trying to go. But again, you're going to have to invest in their time, and when I say invest in their time, you got to pay for their time, pay for their services, because again, you need some guidance in direction. Hey, Carlos, how you doing? Good evening to you. Yes. Hey, Mr. Chocolate Goodness himself. Hey, make sure
I
you
I
get your.
I, I wear the T-shirt, brother. I ain't calling you that.
Well, that's right. Yeah, it's about the T-shirt. So go get the T-shirt. And, but he is definitely running with that and doing some great thing. He understands his why as a comedian. All right, and so the principle it applies all across whatever it is that you want to do in life. All right, and Danny, you had
Yeah,
a topic that you want to discuss as well.
yeah. But before we go to the topic, I wanted to talk about knowing your why, and
Hmm.
I think a lot of new and just in the business, just getting into business artist. Um, hey, how you?
Wayne there.
Um, they it's almost like electricity that they say the electricity chooses the path of least resistance to reach the ground.
Hmm.
New artists try to find the sometimes they try to find the least the easiest path sometimes. And what
Hmm.
happens is that the easiest path may not be the path that
Kevin.
God put you on. Hey Kevin,
Hmm.
that the,
Right.
you know that God put you on, and so you start to question your why when you let the wrong people give you advice. You
Ah,
let the you start losing your why when you start getting insignificant information or outdated information.
correct. Correct.
Um,
Hey,
and
Brandy.
hey, Brandy. Um, so I think that one of the reasons that I'm here is to help up and coming artists to reimagine your why and to give you some timely information so that it's not necessarily to make your path easier, but that it would illuminate your path and say, okay, this is my why no matter what. So
And I like what you said about, again, giving misinformation and sometimes even outdated information. All right, that is basically counterproductive for your growth. All right. I mean, again, you have to look at lens, through a common sense. I mean, through a common sense lens of, all right, I see how the society is changing. Look at this COVID. Okay, nobody is touring, nobody is performing live. All right, so how am I going to adjust? Do it. Yes, I know the hot topic is always about radio. Okay, and again, radio is a good medium, but radio is not the only medium for you to be successful. And it is it is a what's the word? It's a controlled medium, a controlled platform.
Absolutely.
All right. So
Yeah.
they
And
control
and
you and your
and
music. Hmm.
I'm a throw a little bit of nitroglycerin in the conversation.
Okay.
There's an argument that says that radio might be a little antiquated these days.
Hmm.
That radio in and of itself is an outdated format because you if you survey the average 20-year-old, how long do they spend listening to actual terrestrial radio?
Right.
Now they listen to YouTube,
Hmm.
they listen to TikTok, they listen to Spotify and Apple Music, even
Hmm.
Instagram. But how long do and so this is the 20-year-olds, the teenagers, this is going to be the consumer generation that starts to buy stuff in the next 10 years. That's going
That's
to
a good
run the
point.
economy. So if they're not listening to radio now I'm not going to give away all of our ages because I don't want Simone to hunt me down. But I remember back in the day where we used to listen to the radio and make our own mixtapes.
Yes.
You had to, if you couldn't afford to go to the record store or the
Yep.
record store, you
Uh-huh.
sat there, you listened to the radio, and you made your own tape,
And you
Yeah.
which
hope the
meant that
DJ wouldn't talk.
exactly, and you hope the D or if he did,
Money,
if
hurry
he
up,
did,
record.
Yep.
yeah, or you call the radio station, can you play that record and please shut up next time? Um, so, but our generation listened to a lot of radio.
Yeah.
As a result, our generation, when we grew up and became artists, we utilized radio because that's kind of what we knew.
Right.
These young folks don't know radio like that. They don't look at radio like that. So,
Well, too, is that in back in the day, in our day, there weren't that many options. It was
Right.
radio. Radio was the only option, right? You were either listening to radio or you were buying your own records or you went out and listened to music at the concerts live.
Hmm.
But radio was it, really. It was free. Everybody had one. You go in your
Hmm.
house, you turn it on, or in your car, you turn it on.
For
You
Walkman.
have access to music, right?
hey, I'm a date myself really bad. Back when we had component sets.
Oh
We didn't have
man.
we didn't have
Yeah.
stereos. We had the component sets with the green face.
Oh,
Yes.
So
Come on now. Storm, what's up, William? Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And then when MTV came around, man, and then from there, Friday night videos, the jukebox or so. I mean, again,
yeah, video countdown shows.
video countdown, all of that. Yep. But radio
and
was the main um
right,
source.
right, and so you see a lot of watershed moments. With the introduction of the compact disc
Hmm.
and getting digital quality, and then with the advent of DAT machines and digital
Right.
audio recorders, then you had musicians that were able to create these digital, very well mixed, projects from home. But then they
Right.
really didn't have a whole lot of places to do it because they still had to go to traditional routes until the internet.
Y- yes.
You know,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
Definitely.
So
Yeah, yeah, Carla said that is so true. Only time you may listen to radio now is when you're in the car. That's a exactly.
Right. Because, most of the time,
Exactly.
I'm the only time I'm hearing radio in the car is a couple of minutes while my
Mhm.
Bluetooth is connecting to the phone.
Come on. Come
yeah.
on.
If
Exactly.
if I can be transparent, I don't listen to the radio at all. I may listen to
Hmm.
NPR, but I listen to Sirius XM
Hmm.
Mhm.
and 102
Yeah.
Jams,
Yeah, the
and
thunderstorm. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember that.
there it is. Come on now,
I
come
remember
on,
that.
The
come on,
YouTube
Power 97.
music, or
Right,
usually it's like YouTube music or podcasts. That's what I'm
Right,
listening to, you know.
right,
So
right. And
the
so
radio has so much competition now. Nobody has to listen to radio if they don't want to in order to hear music. You can hear
with
it everywhere.
yeah, which goes back to if you're
Hmm.
an independent artist and someone is telling you that radio is your lifeline to your career, you can kind of call BS on that and be like,
Absolutely.
I don't necessarily think so.
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Look,
Mhm.
the only thing that radio has the slight advantage over the Bluetooth and some of the other devices is that it's accessibility. Because as soon as I get in my car, I turn on the knob, bam, instead of having to wait for the Bluetooth to connect or so. I mean, really, yeah. I'm just keeping it 100, as they said. Willie Moore said, "Hey, brother Reggie says I'm with Sirius now, and by the numbers, KF got lots of listeners."
Yes, radio still has lots of listeners, but like we said, there's a ton of competition. Not
Okay,
everybody, most people are not listening to radio.
correct.
You may have a lot of listeners, but that's not most listeners of music.
Which is again your audience that you're trying to cater to. All right, you need to find where are they listening at.
Mhm.
That's what it boils
That,
down to.
that's absolutely correct.
So again, it's about knowing your why. Knowing your why. We
Hmm.
are talking about that. Okay. And again, if you have any questions or comments, we are the Music Industry Makeover podcast. Feel free to type it in because hey, we want to teach you some things and just tell you again, know what's out there. Know your why more than anything. Radio
Mhm.
has listeners, but not many buyers.
Mhm.
That's a good point.
That is
Very good point.
100% correct. And if you're an
Yeah.
artist and you're getting to that level where you're
Yes.
actually starting to buy ads and to
Mhm.
buy some placement, you will start to see that those prices are coming down with terrestrial. Now they're not coming down a whole lot,
Right.
but they're starting to come down simply because there's so much competition and because terrestrial radio knows that
Mhm.
internet radio is where the move is if you're an independent artist.
There you go. Exactly. Internet radio. That's your
Mm.
friend. Carlos says I listen to the playbacks of certain shows on YouTube without the music, just their commentary. Example like Ricky Smiley morning show.
Yeah.
That's
There's
good.
another show. There was a show that interviewed me out in California. They
That's
put
good,
their
Ricky.
show onto YouTube. And what I
Mhm.
realize is that they will put the interviews out there, but the actual music they won't put out there. So people aren't hearing the music, from some of these shows.
Right, right. And to Reggie's point again, if a radio announcer has a good show on radio, people will tune in, just like with Steve Harvey or so, and Ricky Smiley, But
Let me say something about that, brother Reggie Rich. There's a difference between having a syndicated radio show.
mhm,
The chances of you getting placement on a show like a Steve Harvey or a Ricky Smiley, you almost got better chance of getting struck by lightning. Um, and so
yeah,
and then if you're looking at local radio stations now, one of the things that I would argue is it attributes or contributes to the demise of local radio. Program directors don't choose their own music anymore.
Mm.
You know, it's somebody in a office in New York that's
hmm
telling 5,000 radio stations what to play
come
and
on,
when to play and how to
exactly,
play. And so if that's another reason that a lot of us don't really listen to radio because who wants to listen to, oh
right.
boy, I can't even give it a good example of a song that's on the radio because I don't listen to radio. But who wants to listen to a song 15 times in an hour? You
Right.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because some record company has paid for placement, but that's a whole nother separate conversation and a
There
whole
you
nother
go.
separate time.
It,
But yeah, so
it, man,
I agree with Reggie's point where he says syndicated shows they mess the game up for local listeners, right?
yes,
Because some guy in New York is choosing what is being played on their radio network across the country,
correct.
and all the music on those stations, on those network stations, sound the same. You don't get a local sound. You don't get a New York sound, a California sound, a Houston sound, a DC sound. It
Right.
all sounds the same at
you
that
know,
point.
and I get it why clear communications or Radio One. I get it why they do it, because you do have payola, which for
Still
the
does exist.
exactly for the uninitiated, payola is the practice of paying for play on commercial radio, and which is illegal. But you still
Mhm.
have that, and so in order to guard against that, because if you get caught with payola these days, you're not looking at just a regular fine.
Mhm.
Somebody's going to prison.
Mm.
Somebody's doing some fair time. So I
Mhm.
understand why these companies control what gets played. However, it is at the cost and at the demise of the local markets.
Come on.
Absolutely.
We got a question from Facebook user here. Since I've heard that artists, monetarily speaking, radio is still the ideal route over digital streams. Is that accurate? I don't
That,
think
that's
so.
that's kind of a loaded question. My immediate response is no, that's not accurate, because it's kind of like this. It's easier for you to get digital streams than
Mhm.
it is to get radio play. you
Absolutely.
can you can come up with the bare minimum of a marketing plan and release your song independently and get streams. Now, does radio play pay more? If you are signed to a performing rights organization like BMI, ASCAP, or CSAC,
Mhm.
yeah, technically, but keep in mind, you don't have the kind of bank to make that kind of a hit
There you go.
record to get the kind of streams that you would get on your own. Unless and maybe we're dealing with some millionaires out there,
Right.
but yeah, if you got that kind of bank,
Mhm.
um, yeah. So I would say no. Digital streams for independent artists right now is the way to go, but not just digital streams. You got to use that as leverage to do something else, like merchandising,
Mhm.
like content, like building your platforms, um, to where you're hitting on more than just one revenue stream as an independent artist.
Absolutely.
Very much so, definitely. And I think to Brandy's point, she's saying yes, they do now on radio for us. I guess with the
Payola.
payola. All right.
Here's what I found out about that, and I did some research because I came prepared. I did some research on this, and this is what's going to shock a lot of y'all. Y'all ready? Payola does not apply to internet radio.
Mhm.
Payola only applies to commercial radio. That is as of
Federally
January
regulated.
28th, 2021. That is how the federal statute is written. That payola is to pay for over airwaves and radio waves. It does not cover internet right now. So, but
Interesting,
I
actually.
get, yeah, I get the idea though. A lot of times when independent artists are asked to purchase quote unquote promotional packages, and the internet radio station only has 5 listeners, and they have 5 listeners a week, which means that one person is listening every other day. Um, I get why that's kind of problematic, but
Mhm.
yeah, so no, payola only applies to commercial radio.
um, Reggie says, art advertisers can't afford to pay for spots on syndicated shows. I guess it all depends on which advertiser
Depends
you're
on the
talking about.
advertiser, right? If you're talking
Yeah.
about McDonald's, yeah, they can
Oh
afford it.
yeah.
If you're
Oh
talking
yeah.
about
Definitely.
Joe Blow, the barbecue place down the street, probably not.
Right, exactly. Yes, AM stations don't have good reception or so. You know,
I would push back on that, Miss Mary, simply
mm,
because I don't know exactly where you're located, but here in North Carolina, it really just depends on your location. We have a lot of rural areas going
mhm,
towards the coast
mhm,
that the AM station is still the local station,
mhm,
and a lot of AM stations are really FM stations in disguise. So the reception
mhm.
is good, the access is still what the problem is.
And so, why do you all want to fight to get into a controlled environment with your music? Okay, that's I guess one of the questions you should ask yourself. Okay, yeah, radio is definitely. I mean, it is important. All right, but it's at the bottom of the totem pole compared to 30 years ago. All right, look at all the technology that is available to you, and and what you have with your music. If you have great music, it's going to get discovered. So you want
Mhm.
radio to find you. All right.
Mhm.
And that's why there's other avenues out there with the streaming, with branding yourself, social media, getting on social media, and again, you are the brand.
Mhm.
Okay. YouTube go. I mean, there's ways to where you could be successful and radio will come find you if that's what you really want to get on radio. But ultimately, as an artist, you want to get paid.
Mhm.
I mean,
And you got to use radio as in. I personally feel like you can use radio as something like if I'm going to make an investment, I need to make sure that I'm getting a good return. So I'm not going to use radio unless it's something like monumental. Like we put together a giant concert
mhm,
in the Hampton Roads area, and we've just invested $25,000 in
Mhm.
this show. Then I'm
mhm,
gonna go ahead and spend another $5,000 on local FM radio because I need to make sure everybody comes.
Right.
correct.
But that's if I'm dealing with that kind of bank and and my pockets is that deep. Um, but there are other strategies, though, people, that I have to stress
Marketing
that,
strategies.
yeah, there's other strategies that you need to get with somebody that knows how to market, because it could just very well be that with your particular type of music, with who you are as an artist,
Hmm.
commercial radio is not where your listeners are. Your listeners might be listening to college radio.
There
Right.
you
Your
go.
your your listeners might be listening to YouTube music, and you pull up your analytics, and all this money that you spent to get on Hot 92 or whatever, you don't see a return, but you got a million people listening to you on YouTube.
Right.
Now, what you gonna do now?
And this is something that a lot of artists don't do. Finding out where their fans are, where your listeners are, where are people finding you?
Right.
Because if you're not on terrestrial radio, then you shouldn't advertise there. That's not where your listeners are,
That's
right?
smart.
They're not on there anyway.
Right.
So this is one thing that artists don't do a lot is ask your fans how they found you. Where do they
Right.
listen to you? How do they discover you? And then go there and advertise. Go there and build up those platforms rather than trying to get on terrestrial radio that is not all that excited about having new independent music,
Come
right?
on. Come on.
I heard a radio announcer say, there's so many independent artists that are just shoving their music at these terrestrial radio stations. And a terrestrial radio, they're like, okay, we're trying to keep our advertisers. We're
Mhm.
losing listeners because there's so much competition out here. So
Right.
in the time, and then they have to have time for the weather, the news, the chit chat between the hosts, the commercials. Where are they going to play the not so popular music in all of that?
Right. Right.
There's no room really, you know. And terrestrial radio nowadays, depending on who you're listening to, but I'm listening, when I turn on Radio One, the music tends to be the break between the commercials.
Mm.
Honestly, that's what it boils down to. There's so many commercials on there. The music is just it's just a
A
break between.
filler.
It's just
Exactly.
there's no room for independent music. You know,
And then for you gospel artists out there, okay. Now again, let's just be realistic. A good majority of Christians listen to secular radio. All right. Listen to secular music. It is what it is. So yeah, you can go to gospel stations if you want to, which I've read the statistics. The highest percentage of gospel radio listeners are 65 and up. Okay. That's in percentage wise, 22%. So if you have an urban style song or a Christian hip hop song, all right. I'm not saying there are some in the 60s baby boomers that like it, but the percentage wise, and then plus, how are you going to monetize that? So
And let me just break this down very, very simplistically. And I hope I don't step on anybody's. JB, I'm gonna have to come back to that because whoa,
oh yeah,
no,
we'll come
no, and
back to
no,
that.
and no, and no.
All
Um,
right.
but let me just break this down. If you don't know the radio's format, don't send them music
Right.
that doesn't match their format.
Come on, Danny.
Because
I'm gonna derail.
usually I remember a radio station in Greensboro that that I used to have a DJ friend there, and they had a file cabinet that was really a trash can.
Oh,
Oh, you remember that, don't you?
Oh yeah, you probably was up there too.
that special file.
You know,
Hey,
they had a file cabinet. It was like file 13. Bam, it go right
pretty
in
much.
there.
It sure was.
Because you send in choir music to a hip hop station. Like, well, the power of God is gonna get me a rotation. No, it's not.
It was all
So
a
you got
dream.
it was really all a dream. So you really have to know your format before you blindly send music out to some people.
I'm
So
gonna be talking about that tomorrow. How to pitch and how to pitch properly. You
Uh,
know, what
Lavelle,
we do is a spray and pray method. Just send it
spray
out
and
to everybody.
I like that
What
spray and
happens?
pray method. Yeah,
yeah, ain't nobody got time for that Johnny Appleseed type of
no,
marketing.
Right.
exactly. It's hard to monetize without being able to do live performances. I'm gonna say no on that. So,
Hmm.
yeah, because again, you have access to the internet. You know that is your greatest ally. Okay, there's plenty platforms out there to brand yourself. You have to first of all build up a fan base, know, like, and trust. All right,
Mm.
so people got to know who you are in order for you to monetize off of your music, and that's
And
where a lot of
yeah,
artists don't have that. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and this is going to come back to your why.
Your why.
But we have told people since last year you only need 1,000 people to invest
Right.
$100 in you a
That's
year,
it.
and you grossing $100,000 in your music career.
Right.
And so it's really not that it's hard to monetize. You have to know someone that can pivot through the business, because it
Mhm.
may just well be, yeah, live shows are not there, but you can ask Big Los right now how a T-shirt sells.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean? You
Yes.
can you can ask a lot of other people how streaming sales are, streaming royalties are right
Right.
now. Things that is right at this moment. It's about content. So yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. But you know what? Now let's go to what JB was saying here, man. Uh, music artists need to invest in trade business and not do music business.
Okay. So first of all, I don't necessarily, when he says trade business,
Probably need to
as
clarify.
yeah, you might need to clarify a little bit.
Cars, what? I mean,
Yeah.
Are you talking about, trade as in learning a trade, like, HVAC systems and
Right.
things of that nature? Not that I'm trying to clown your comment.
get into IT.
Yeah, or, trying to get into, stocks or whatever. But the bottom line is that in order to be in the music business, you have to know the music business. And if you don't know the music business, you need to get someone who does.
Uh,
That's where a lot of people lose time.
so
Oh
so
no!
so you talking about
Oh boy!
stocks in
Yeah,
Sony
so you're talking
Universal?
about trading stocks
Oh
So
boy!
in these
yeah,
companies.
Oh
Well,
wow!
it said the music business is a trade business.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
Exactly.
about that.
Yeah. That
I
sounds
think you
good.
might you might need to inbox me later so we could talk about that, because I don't
mhm.
necessarily think that, because I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know what, and saying that a music artist needs to not be in the music business. If you're an
Okay,
artist, you're in the
yeah.
business, you're in the music business. That's
Okay,
just how it goes.
JB, let me push back on what you just said. The IFPI owns the music business. Okay, so does the IFPI own your music business? Does it
Mm.
own your lane? If
That's
you're an
good
independent artist, nobody owns my lane but
Nobody
me.
owns it but you,
for
exactly.
you.
So, and it also is a question of what do you define success as, which
Mhm.
goes back to what your
Your
why is.
why exactly.
Exactly. Exactly.
I remember I had an entertainment law professor once tell me that the days of the 80s success of Michael Jackson and Bruce Springsteen's and Madonna and Prince, those days might be over, where you could sell records and make hundreds of millions of dollars.
Hmm.
Those days might be over because people don't buy records anymore. But if you pivot into business, you can earn a very good living. I know people that you've never heard of that
Mhm.
make really, really good money, in the music
That's good,
business,
Lavelle.
and you have no idea who they are.
Come on.
That's
Which
exactly right. And I
because
think that does go back to this whole, being an independent versus being with a label or trying to get into the music industry. The music industry is not what it was. You can have your own music business. You can turn your ministry into a thriving music business without the Grammys, the Stellars, the Doves, without any other awards, without big radio.
hmm
Um, you can do all of these things and have a thriving music business, and you're not a household name.
correct.
It is absolutely possible to do that. You don't, like Danny was saying, there's lots of people out here who are doing it and they're not household names. You've never heard of them, but they're sticking and moving. They're doing their thing and they're making money and they're bringing in an income every single month.
hmm
And you've never heard of them.
And I'll piggyback on that. There are artists who have learned that America is not the only place on the planet that I can sell music.
There you go.
And
There you
and
go.
as, and as a matter of fact, I may avoid America altogether
Mhm.
and sell music in Europe and Japan. And I could be a millionaire. You have no idea where I made my money.
Come
But
on now.
I get off a plane in Munich and I get mobbed because I'm a star. You just
Right.
never know. And before you tell me that that's unrealistic, I know for a fact that it has happened and it does happen.
It's happening. It does happen. Yeah. Italy,
Mm.
Denmark. Um, there are places in Europe and Japan and all these different places all over the world where people, they don't understand a word you're singing, but they love you to pieces.
Okay. He
You
says Sony and Universal Warner is owned by the IFPI. I'm a music broker. Most people never heard of that deep information. They control the ISRC and the GRID Global Release Identifier. Basically, he's agreeing with you. But if you research deep enough, you will see the Digital Data Exchange is owned by the IFPI. And I guess it deal even with some of the metadata as well.
Right. But that's not your entire music business if you don't want it to be.
Right.
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 Right. That is exactly right. So,
The music
but we can further
change.
go deep on that later. But yeah, definitely.
A great point, JB, man. Definitely would love to connect with you later on in the future. So, man, because you seem like you definitely have a wealth of knowledge right there.
Hmm.
And yes, hey, thank you, Wayner. Yes, to God be the glory. Hey, build your brand and learn how to monetize it. That's pretty much what it boils down to, guys.
Hmm.
All right, build your brand. What is your why first? Yes, that's it. Digital marketing branding is the way to go. Drop shipping branding and unique products. Exactly.
Yes, and you say drop shipping to the average independent artist, and it's like, what is that?
Right.
You need to learn what drop shipping is.
Ah,
You can make a good little penny on drop shipping.
come
You
on
know,
now. Again, you have to do your due diligence and educate
absolutely,
yourself, guys.
And
This is
have
absolutely,
a fan base. Who's buying all this drop shipped merchandise?
right.
right.
You don't have any fans. You're
An
creating
NJ.
merch that nobody's buying.
Hmm.
Come
I mean,
on now.
that's fundamental. So
Come
many
on.
artists are not,
Thank you.
they're not spending time in engaging fans and
Right,
growing their
Reggie.
fan base and just doing that KLT, right?
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to knowing your why, right?
That's it.
I've done a lot of calls with different artists, who are interested in my services. And so much of the time they'll tell me what they want and why they're doing this is because they want to spread the gospel. They want more and more people to hear their music. But at the same time, they're going after the award shows and they want radio.
That's
Um,
conflicting right there.
it's a conflict, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If your mission in life is
Mm-hmm.
to spread the gospel, well, then take your gospel to the people.
That's it.
Those are your fans. Don't People just forget all about them. We talk about charts, we talk about radio, we talk about all this other stuff. When I say fans, I'm talking about actual people. In
That
case
is
you
so
didn't
true.
realize that, I'm talking about
Yeah, yeah.
actual people, the people who are listening to your music, the people who are hearing your testimony, the
Mhm.
people that you say that you want to spread the gospel to, right?
Right.
These are the people that you should not be forgetting. Talk to them.
I I have to piggyback on that, Simone, because you are 100% right. Ron and we were in a clubhouse conversation with a lot of gospel greats, and Fred Hammond was dropping jewels
Yes.
that
Yes.
night.
Take it to the
Quiet
streets.
storm, exactly. Take
Exactly.
it to the street.
Yes.
And let me tell y'all something real quick. William Stokes,
I've
aka
seen
Quiet
him do it.
Storm, I have seen him take it to the streets.
Same here.
And when that brother says take it to the streets, he means that.
He,
I've seen this brother do a rap show under a bridge for the
yeah.
homeless people
Yes.
in
Yes.
sub degree heat and weather. This brother knows what he's talking about. But Fred Hammond
Yes.
said something like to the effect that right now only 17% of black folks go to church,
Come on. Yep.
and of that 17%, all of the gospel artists that are in that room are trying to get to that 17 when there
Yeah.
are 80, some odd other percent of people who are believers who may have just fallen and lost their way with church, but they still believe and they still want that music that's an inspiration. And so you got to go get them. Now, how you gonna get them if you're trying to, just go to that 17%? You know?
Come on. Come on now. Wow. Yeah. And then he said in that is speaking to the culture. You have to cater to the culture, not the church culture, but the culture. That is more people in the culture than the church culture.
I have a feeling that church culture is going to change because of this pandemic.
I
I
agree.
have a feeling that the church that we knew before is going to be different than the church that we see after this
Amen,
pandemic
LaBelle.
is over.
Amen, Simone. Yeah. It-
So we're going to have to adjust.
or else you're going to drown in the sea of change if you don't adjust, if you don't pivot. Okay. Again, in this industry. All right. Yeah, this is the music industry, the music business. Learn the music business so that you can survive in the industry.
Right. And a lot of times, just like I said the other night in Clubhouse, Ron, you know, just think of like this. Think of every time we watch the news at night and you see an accident and it says train versus car. They
That was
don't.
a good illustration.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
They don't even show you the accident because you already know who won.
Yeah.
Right. You already know who won.
Fine.
So just imagine that you and your church van are going up against the music industry. The music industry is the train, and you're in the church van.
Mm,
If you don't know that industry, you're gonna get run over.
mm.
And it's no amount of anointing is going to stop you from being ignorant of the business and being successful. No amount of anointing is going to stop that train from running over your business because you weren't prepared. Period.
Come on now. Seriously. Definitely, man, that was a very good illustration right there. I mean, guys, learn the music industry. God will bless you, but you have to do your due diligence. Brother Ray said I met a guy today who got a kiosk in the mall selling his music. That's all it was.
I ain't mad at him. I hope he had his mask on, but I ain't mad
Yeah.
at him.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Right.
mean,
Exactly.
it's something unique and different.
Right. Exactly. Church. Yeah. William, the church is already different, even though some are hoping it will go back to previous normal. Yeah, they are hoping that it will, but the reality is, when something changes, it's not going back the same. That's. I mean, seriously. The church building is going to become the studio, and the work is going to be done out. Hey, I like that, Lavelle.
I like that,
I
Lavelle. I like
like
that a
that.
lot.
Yes, I like that. Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Man, hey, thank y'all for your comments and questions. Hey, look, hey, this is what we do on the Music Industry Makeover. We want to see you succeed. Okay,
Mhm.
and you need to get with a team. Find people that could help you navigate through this music industry. All right,
Yep.
and it's not always for free. Matter of fact, 90% of the time it's not for free. All right,
Yeah.
and you all know my slogan. The music industry is about R&B, relationships and budgets.
Hmm.
Okay, that's again, know your why. At the end of the day, artists need to get a mentor, true, who knows the industry, and plus they have to trust the mentor and do what they say. Um,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
And
Simone, you've had that problem before.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow. Was
You
that
know,
shade?
I can tell you about some people.
Yeah.
but oh yeah, you got to also look at this. Even if you get a mentor, and I will agree in principle to what Brother Reggie Rich said, but even if you get a mentor, you got to understand that just because something was successful for one person, that doesn't necessarily mean that that same thing is going to be successful for you.
Ah.
So if you see a hip hop artist that you read and said, "Oh, he sold 1,000 vinyl copies of his mixtape and made X amount of thousands of dollars," well, I'm gonna go out here and invest in vinyl. No, you shouldn't.
Yeah. Come
Not
on.
unless you've done your due diligence,
Right.
because you know being a copycat is just gonna waste money. You know, and so
That's
if
very
you're
good,
with
Danny.
yeah, if you're with a mentor, I would challenge you to make sure that you're with a mentor that understands that if you're in your lane, you have to find what is going to be successful in that lane,
Yeah, exactly.
in that
Come on.
particular lane, not trying to make you something that you're not.
Come on now.
Absolutely.
And when you're looking for a mentor or someone to help you in the music industry, find someone that closely resembles your why you're
Mhm.
in the music industry. Okay. Yeah, that
Yeah.
lines up with your goal.
If you're looking to become a platinum selling artist tomorrow, well, some mentors are not going to be right for you.
I,
No.
I'm
But if
not
you
going to be right for
make some
you.
money,
Come
you
on now. Come
know,
on.
you help.
And
Is that
let me rephrase that. If you got a $2 million budget and you don't care about how you spend that $2 million, I actually might be the right one for you.
you know what I'm saying? Again, what is your why? Okay, what is your why? And success is not coming overnight. All right, you can't buy your way to success. All right.
Let Yeah,
Mhm.
let me tell you, in business, for those who don't know, I do have an MBA. Brother Reggie Rich, your mentoring is free. Okay, good for you, man. Appreciate that. For those of you who don't know, I do have a master's in business, and the one thing about entrepreneurs is that they tell you that when you're starting a new business, it usually takes 5 to 7 years for that business to turn a profit.
Correct.
5 to 7 years.
Of constant hard work, consistently.
Constant hard work and persistence. A lot of independent artists will quit after 30 days if they don't get 1,000 streams.
Come on now.
You know what I mean? Now,
Come
for
on.
actual business takes 5 to 7 years to turn a profit. And we're talking ones that have actual budgets, that have actual accountants, that have actual staff, and you as your own separate entity. What do you mean to tell me you can't wait 6 months? You mean to tell me that you can't wait 2 years? You know, you can't put in hard work for 2 years. So yeah, yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Yes, yes, Brandy. Yeah, proper prior planning prevents poor performance. Yes, exactly.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking
There's a lot of P's in
A
that
lot of, I
statement.
know, right? I almost got tongue twisted now. Patience and discipline and dedication. Exactly, Carlos. And Carlos is a living witness of that. Okay, I've seen him grow. And again, yeah, go and Google Carlos Massey. All right, hey man, hey, one of the best comedians out there. Yes, artists will quit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And that
because
and that right there is why your mentoring shouldn't be free. You
exactly
ain't gonna
because
sit
they
up
just
there and
wasted
waste
your
my
time.
time.
I was
Exactly.
wondering about that myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if they don't buy in, then why should you be putting in all the effort? They need to have buy-in.
There you go. Yes, yeah. So, brother Reggie, you need to stop wasting your time.
Now
Okay.
I will say this before you start charging an artist, make sure your skill set matches what you're charging. You
Mhm.
know, because the one thing that
Agreed.
you don't want is a reputation of trying to get money and you don't know what you're doing. Let's put that out there. But
Come
at the
on.
same time, even if it's nothing but I remember, um, I know I have a lot of stories.
That's all right.
I,
It's
I
good.
used to work in a hotel, and a young lady that works for a very, very popular producer here in North Carolina. We got to talking one night, and she is this person's project manager, and she told me, like, if people want to talk to me, even if they just want to talk to me, and even if I see the potential in them, you're gonna have to buy lunch. You're gonna get this invoice. because my information is not free. It was not free for me to get this experience. And for someone who like me who has a whole lot of student loans, it wasn't free for me to get all of this information. So whether I believe in you or not, hey, you know, $20 Starbucks card, and that is for a particular person that I will not name. That's an inside joke. But you're gonna give me my coffee while we're talking. So
hey, hey, y'all, time is more valuable than money. All right, because you can always get money, but you can't get time back. All right.
Yeah.
So
that's
Reggie,
right.
hey, if your mentors didn't charge you, hey, that was a blessing. Okay. But the reality is,
Yeah.
most mentors, you need to come with something for out of consideration. All right. Time,
And when we're talking about people who drop out after 2 weeks,
come
when
on.
you pay attention. When
That's
they have some money in it, some money on the table, something at stake, they're going
investment.
to pay more attention and they're going to be a lot more engaged. You know,
And yeah. And
my,
I'm
my
gonna go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'm sorry. I was getting excited. I remember being in college and I had gotten this book that Kashif, who was like this really big '80s
Oh
music
yeah.
producer, that used to
She
be one of my
man.
favorite producers in the early '80s. I remember
Yeah.
I got his book and he had an email address at the end of his book, and I was like, I'm gonna email Kashif, and maybe he'll mentor me, maybe he'll do this, maybe he'll do that. Kashif sent me an email. I wish I still had the email. He said, my consultation fee is X amount of money an hour, and I would be happy to talk to you once you pay it. And I
Man.
remember being in college, and I was like, what kind of crap is this? I'm a
Mhm.
young person. You should want to mentor me for free. But now I get it. I
Mhm.
understand. I really
Yeah.
do.
Come on, man. And Kashif, man, he put out a lot of great hits. Um, rest in yeah,
Rest in
rest
peace,
in peace,
Chief.
man. Definitely, yeah. Yeah, wow. But man, that hey, again, it's about R&B, relationships, and budgets, guys. All right. And don't overpromise and don't under deliver. If you're giving the information, if you're providing the service. Okay. Stick to your word. Hey, I can produce this right here. I can do this for you. I'm not guaranteeing, like for me, I'm not guaranteeing you getting on the charts. All right. I'm guaranteeing that I will promote your stuff on all our platforms and put it out in front of folks. Now, whether your stuff is good or not, that's up to the consumer to decide. But put out good music, okay? And yeah, and even to this day, I think I'll let Danny read an email or so that or somebody wanted to try to use sympathy to get some free services and I'm like, okay, everybody has a sob story. So again, what's your excuse?
Does that really work? You know what I mean? In this day and age, does that really work? You
Come
know,
on.
You know what? It probably does. They wouldn't try it if it didn't work.
Well, there's a sucker born every minute then.
well, dang, Ron. Okay.
Hey,
Well, they're doing it because it's worked for them in the past. So they're like, well,
mhm.
hey, why not? Maybe this guy is gonna be sympathetic too.
God bless you there, Reggie. Yeah, that's all. Hey, that's about all the mentor you're gonna get. Hey,
Keep
Oh
watching,
no.
Reggie. That's all I have to say about that. Keep
Well,
watching.
look.
yeah,
Hey, Walgreens sells Starbucks cards, Reggie. That's all I'm gonna say.
UPS is hiring, as Biggie said.
Oh no, not UPS.
Again, God, learn the business, learn the industry. All right. Hey, I want to give shout outs there to those that are tuning in and checking us out on CG93 Radio, on Culture Kings. Our Facebook page, 24/7 praiseradio.com. Hey, again, thank you all so much. A hip hop praise show group on Facebook. Make sure you go and join it and join the Music Industry Makeover Facebook page. Excuse me, the Music Industry Network's Facebook page as well. Okay, so we again we want to connect with you out there, and don't forget to join Simone's class that she's having. Hey, go and talk about it real quick.
It's called Nail Your Next Release. And basically, I have taken my 29 steps, 28, 29 steps for the album release roadmap and cut it up into 6 modules. And we are going to go through all of them to make sure that you cover everything when you are releasing a new single, EP, album, whatever it is that you are releasing. We're going to talk about marketing, selling, organizing yourself, distribution, legal stuff. We're going to put
Bless you.
all of that is in this program. It is live online. We start next Tuesday, and I want to see you there. So click the link on your screen. Go to that link, and it gives you all of the information. And click the buy button so we can get started next week.
Click the buy button, y'all. Okay. Hey,
Not
don't
not not the beg button, the buy button.
the buy button. I like that exactly. Yeah, stop begging, guys. Seriously, I mean, because it is annoying. All right.
And I wanted to mention too, if you are releasing something later on in the year, you can still join the class now, and you have access to those recordings, for the rest of the year. Because I've set up a private Facebook group for this particular course, and all of the recordings are going to be in there, along with all your downloadables and all your other materials.
Beautiful,
You have
beautiful.
access to that forever.
Come on, y'all. Hey, again, the information is here for you. All right. I mean, we're only giving you tips or so on Thursday nights, but we're not going to give you everything. All right. If you're serious about going to the next level with your music ministry or industry, whatever your why is, then yes, we can help you. And not just us. There's others out there in the industry that can help you as well. But don't come with a begging mentality.
Yeah, because everybody here, everybody that you're listening to on this panel has made money in some form or fashion in this business, which means that we're not amateurs. So, yeah,
Right.
make sure that you keep that in mind. Um,
Right.
so-
Yeah, yeah, seriously. Oh, real quick, Danny. Hey, there was something that you had sent me in the inbox, and it had something to do with somebody owns. Oh man,
oh, right, yeah, real quick, y'all.
Yeah, y'all need
And
to
I know
hear
we're
this.
we're up against it. So I saw an article that DistroKid, which is an independent distributor, is now being used by a major record company to find acts for their roster. And it got me thinking. It's like, wow, let me, let me take a look at these companies that independent artists are using. And so you're looking at CD Baby, you're looking at TuneCore, you're looking at United Artists, United Masters, all of these companies. Guess what, y'all? They're all owned, or they all have major record companies on their board of directors, or people that own shares. So guess what? They're not independent distributors.
Mm,
So you have to really think
wow.
about and really read the fine print of where you're putting your music, because they're not playing fair. You know, you wondering why that you might not be getting a return. You need to check and see which distributor you're using. You need to check and see how your music is getting out there in the marketplace. We could really do a whole show on which independent distributors are actual fronts for the major record companies.
Wow. Okay, man. Yes, we could definitely do that for sure. And
Mhm.
man, hey, man. Lavelle, you say you're trying to click the link, but it won't light up. Which link are you referring to?
I think he
Simone's.
might be Simone's link, maybe.
That
Okay.
might be mine.
Okay, cool, awesome. Jay says all music artists need to get an ISNI number, international standard name identifier, and buy their own exactly buy your own ISRC codes. All right,
Mhm.
because if you use somebody else, say like if you use DistroKid, well, yeah, they
Mhm.
own it and you own it, so they're going to get some of your profit.
And then
Okay.
check this out. That's really, really good, JB. Check
Yes,
this out. Spotify, 20% or so of Spotify is owned by the record companies,
that's
major record companies. So you
wow.
think about that for just a second. You wonder about why your royalty rate is so low when it comes to streaming.
Come on.
Um, your royalty rate is low because the big companies are eating. They're not getting paid 0.00007 cent per stream.
Right.
So you have to really consider that. Now, is that still valuable? Yes, it's valuable as you're getting your music to the marketplace, but you really have to consider your marketing and how you're going to capitalize on your budget. Because they're not playing fair out here. And it's almost like jumping in the water with the sharks. The one thing about a shark is going to be fair. And what I mean by that is if you don't want to get bit, do not get in this water unprepared.
Hey, bro, Danny. Hey, I mean, D-Ray, that was good. That was that was on point right there. Exactly. Artists aren't making money nowhere. So, well, hey, it is.
It depends on where you're making your money,
Right.
and it
It
depends on
depends.
how you. Yeah,
There are artists who are making money.
Yes,
there
there
are
are.
You
there
just
are
haven't heard of them.
right,
There you go.
right,
And they're
and
not
that's not
using
to say
radio.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
go
that's
ahead.
not to say that you can't write a song in your basement or in your bedroom that won't get a million streams. That's really not to say that. What that is to say, though, is you need to get into this business and understand marketing. You need to understand technology. You need to understand. You can't just come in it with the anointing of God. You got to come in with some knowledge.
Come on now.
You
Well,
know,
and that's the thing. It's like people tell me, "Oh, well, I'm not very good with social media. I'm not good with technology." Well,
Social
guess
media manager.
what? We all learn. We all know how
Mhm.
to learn, right? If you know how to tie your shoes, if you know how to use your cell phone, guess what? Your brain is capable of learning. So don't just say, "Oh, well, I don't know how to do that," and just kind of toss it off like that. Commit to actually learning. Why? Because your music career depends on it.
real quick, brother Rich. Now
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you an example. Now, if I see you try to do this with an artist, I know where you got it from. You talk about how independent artists are making money on the gospel side. I have seen gospel artists do things like this. They put a bundle together, and
Mhm.
the bundle will have a USB drive that'll have all of their music, have 3 or 4 music videos. They'll bundle that with a T-shirt, bundle that with a scripture journal, and
Hmm.
sell that for $50.
Right?
And they
Hmm.
sell that to a
Sell it to
thousand,
ladies, sell them a bag to put it in.
and sell them a bag to put it in, and you sell that for $50 to 1,000 people. And guess what?
That's some good
Cha-ching.
change. You got to pivot.
And,
Yeah.
and you might think that this was just me coming off the top of my dome. I have been to conventions in Nashville, and
Hmm.
I have seen it where artists are out there with USB drives and, like Simone said, with a nice bag to put it all in and making crazy bank. And you have no idea who these artists are.
And the reason why they're doing that because they understand what their why is. They have a goal. They are focused. And a lot of you artists, you have to become focused, or you'll be singing the same sob song every year. I
Yeah.
ain't making no money, man. I ain't getting no radio play. Man, I ain't making.
And you can't have a one-track mind. You know, it
Right.
reminds me of the story, and I'm gonna really paraphrase because I know we're up against the clock, where somebody was on a deserted island and was praying for God to save them.
Oh yeah,
And you know the story
Yeah.
where there was a boat that went
boat.
by, they didn't wave. There
Right.
was something else that went by, and they died on the helicopter, and they died, and it
They're
was
like,
like,
no, I'm waiting for God.
Right.
you know what I mean? And the reality of it is that you want to make it the way that you think in your brain that you want to make it.
Right.
And sometimes you have to change your thinking. Brother Rich, I don't know you. But anyway,
Hey, hey, hey,
and I got trust issues. But no, let me just stop. No, I'm just joking, Brother Rich. I'm just joking.
hey,
But you sometimes artists have this idea of what they think success actually is.
Yeah.
right.
And that success, you have to learn how to pivot because that success might not show up the way that you actually think.
That's
I
true.
know Carlos Massey on here. Once again, I go back to him because that's my brother.
Yeah.
Love him like a brother. Um, he never dreamed that the t-shirts was going to sell like that.
Right.
He's a stand-up comedian,
A very
you
good
know,
one.
and a very good one. Although there was this one DJ one time. Now I ain't gonna get into
It's about knowing. It's kind of it's not knowing human behavior. You know
That's
what
good,
it is
Simone.
that you do when you go to concerts, right? You
Mhm.
go to a concert. I've heard of people that go to a concert, they spend a ton of money for this concert, they have a great time. And if they come out of those doors and there's no table to buy anything, they're disappointed. Why? Because they wanted to take something home to remember the experience.
There you go. There you go.
If that's how you feel and you're an artist, do that for your fans.
That's good.
You know, they want to take home that experience. And even though CDs aren't really a big seller these days, I still recommend that artists, have CDs still. Why? Because it's something physical that you can either send to your fans, or once we get back to being in venues again and being in churches again, it's something that you can sign and hand to somebody with your liner notes and your lyrics and all that wonderful stuff in it. They're not going to listen to it. No. Why? Because they've got YouTube and they've got Apple and they've got all this other Spotify, right? They're not going to listen to it. It's a souvenir of their
souvenir purpose
with you.
And it's a it's a very easy way to quantify support. And to, you know what I mean? Very, very simple. If I'm selling this CD for $5 or $10, that's simple. You want to support me? You want to support what I'm doing? Buy the CD. You don't got to listen to it. Still listen to your music on YouTube.
Yeah.
But, whatever. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But that $10 purchase of the CD supports the artist. It's a direct support of the artist, right? And it goes back to building up your fan base. Like Reggie said, who's making money from spins? The people who are making money from spins are people who have a fan base, who have a strong and dedicated fan base. These fans are not only, they're adding the songs to their own playlists, and they're listening to those playlists on a regular basis. A lot of these artists are trying to get on curated playlists, and that's all great. And the branded playlists from Spotify or whatever, and those are great, but those only work when your music is new. If your music, once your music has kind of aged off of those playlists, well, guess what? Those spins go away. But if you have a strong and engaged fan base and you are encouraging them to create their own playlists and putting your songs on their playlist, guess what? Those songs are going to live on those playlists for a very long time. And you are going to continue to get those spins. But it comes from engaging your fans, telling them what you want. If your fans are going to want to support you, that's the only reason they're going to buy a CD from you, because they never have to actually buy music again, right? So they're going to buy a CD because they want to support you. They're going to do the same thing when you ask them to create a playlist and put your song on it. And the same thing when you ask them to buy a t-shirt. Who needs another t-shirt? Nobody. They will buy your t-shirt because you asked them to.
Right.
Absolutely.
They want to support you.
And let me also tell you about I'm sorry, Ron.
No, go. Well, I would say there was a good point that Donnie made and everything, and so with the drop drop where you're giving your merch for new music sales and things like that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say about those spins, though. Once again, it's all about being patient. You might not be getting spins now, but guess what? You might run into an artist 4 or 5 years from now that hears something that you just did, and what do? I know what I do when I run into an artist that I've never heard of. I go back and I listen to everything that they've ever done. You know what I mean? And I go back and I start liking everything from 20, 30 years ago or whatever that they've ever done. And so you just, in this business, you just never know when or where you're going to get those. What does she say?
She said she like t-shirt. Bless her heart.
I'm trying to be nice and not bring up football tonight. So I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah, that's right.
I try real hard to be nice.
Definitely. Hey guys, we want to thank y'all so much. Again, the time is over. So hey, tell a friend every Thursday night right here. Hey, we have the music industry makeover. So if you want to join us as we give you tips and things like that, and also find us on Clubhouse. All right. Hey, it's for all you iPhone users and things. So, again, it's some great information out there, and that's why we have to, be diligent in knowing our why. Okay, yeah. Hey man, they mess with you. Hey,
Yeah,
leave Betty
see,
Steve alone.
I shouldn't have messed with them old criminals up there in
Thank you,
Baltimore. I
Malachi.
should have just kept it
Y'all
to
need to watch
myself.
the football show.
Yeah, we do. But you know what?
Thank you, Wayne. We appreciate you, Wayne. Thank you,
Thank
and
you.
everyone else.
Yeah, but on the real, before we go, I want to send a
Mhm.
special shout out to our friend Brandy. She's a singer, also known as B. Cherie. Her
Mhm.
manager has COVID and was admitted to the
Wow.
hospital, and so we
Mm.
want to send a special shout out to him and his
Prayers
family
for him.
and
Yes.
his prayers for healing. As a COVID survivor, I know what that's like. I know I did, by the grace of God, I didn't have to go to the hospital,
Praise
but I
God.
Amen.
know how
Amen.
scary that is, and so I just wanted to send some positivity and some light to him and his family.
Yes, definitely. Yes, and we do the same. And for everyone else out there that may be out there dealing with this. So hey, you all be safe out there, okay, guys? Seriously, all right, because hey, this is no joke, and just be smart about it. And also, if you're an artist, this is a good way for you to also create some encouraging music. All right, I'm
Yes.
just saying. Again, you got all the information here for you. So yes, hey, thank you all so much. Again, 9 o'clock, hey, right here on Thursday night. All right, Reggie, man. Hit me up later on and things. Hey, you all have a blessed one. Remember, you matter in the kingdom of God. So don't compare yourself or your ministry to anyone else. Just do what God's called you to do, and you will be just fine. Okay. We'll see you again for the music industry makeover. Peace.